Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. Murder at Castle Nathria expansion to Hearthstone is launching in just a few hours, and in this video I want to showcase 10 decks that I have tier-crafted for the expansion, one for each class. I have written a couple of articles about the expansion for Hearthstone Top Decks, you can find them over on that site, and you can also find these decks here, I put links down in the description. So these are decks that I have featured in some of those articles, some of them I have updated. I've done one last pass about this before the expansion launches to make one card change here, one card change there, just figuring out what is going to be the best way to progress with these decks, and this is the best I've got so far. Alright, so let's get started. First of all, we have Aggro Demon Hunter. Aggro Demon Hunter potentially can be a thing again thanks to Magnifying Glaive. After hero attacks, draw until you have 3 cards. So you get rid of your cards real fast and then you draw cards real fast and boom, just explosions will happen. The card that I'm least certain about in this list is the Crooked Cook. I kind of wanted some card draw, I also would have wanted some more just punch, and that's maybe a bit of a compromise, but I just couldn't figure out a better way. I also took a look at what Vicious Syndicate had been doing, and they had the same archetype. They had it with the Naga that discounts the cards for outcast cards. But I'm uncertain whether you have enough cards to really make that shine, so I didn't want to put that one in. And if I don't put that one in, then there's not really enough discounts for Predation either. So a problem here, a problem there. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, Aggro Demon Hunter. The Druid deck, I mean, it has got to be it has got to be Shrubbery Druid. Shrubbery Druid with Topiary the Shrubagazer, then Sire Denatrius, that Bran Bronzebeard, Sire Denatrius combo could also be built with Kael'thas. In this one I have opted to leave Kael'thas out, maybe that is a mistake. We'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, getting Topiary, getting tons of tokens, getting that Sire, blowing everything up with Sire, that's just how Druid rolls. As for Hunter, my choice is a Renatal Wildseed Beast Hunter. I mean, you have to try the Wild Seeds, you just have to try them out to see if they're any good. I played with Wild Seeds with a Face Hunter deck in the tier crafting event, and they were just too slow for a Face Hunter. But if there's a chance to get Wild Seeds going in Hunter, really succeed with them, it has got to be with Beast Hunter. So that's where I'm going to try them out, because yeah, it's kind of fun to play with some new cards. And if they don't work out, then well, we always have the old Beast Hunter. For Mage, I had 2 candidates. Either I built this with the Mage Hero card and with Mortar's Fire Eye, so then I will have Mortar's Fire Eye and Kel'Thuzad the Inevitable as finishers. Or the other way is to build it with only Frost spells, use stuff like Frostwolf Dungeoneers, and then use Sire Denatrius. 2 of Sire Denatrius have Sire Denatrius and Kel'Thuzad as the finishers and not play with the Mage Hero card at all. Those 2 are really the main approaches that you can take to this sort of skeleton mage, volatile mage, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, you can find both of these on my Hearthstone Top Decks page, but I think I'm going to try this one first, just not playing with that hero card for a change and trying to see if Denatrius and Kel'Thuzad will do, because it's kind of fun to play with Denatrius now that it's new. And the Paladin deck, I was quite disappointed with Pure Paladin. I tried Pure Paladin in the tier crafting streams, that Countess and stuff, and I just didn't like it too much. So I figured I would try to build a Control Paladin instead, this time with Renatal. Usually Control Paladins don't run Renatal, but hey, Renatal, Teotar. Trying to make that big Mr. Smite can be a little risky if lots of people are running stuff like Teotar and Mutanus, but we'll see how it goes. And there's a bunch of fun new cards that you can put in this deck, like Muckbone Servant, and also Steward the Steward. The Steward has a rather unfortunate dissynergy with Lightforce Carriel, because then you can't use your hero power to make those Silverhand recruits anymore, and you will lose the buff. But there are some ways to play around it, like Sinful Sous Chef, which will give you some Silverhand recruits that you can play from hand. So you will still have some way to go with that, even after your hero power is exhausted. For Priest, my choice is Quest Priest. Quest Priest looks really interesting. I love Sketchy Stranger, and getting to discover those secrets, mage secrets especially in Quest Priest. I think I like Clean the Scene as well. Some AoE for the 5 mana slot. 5 mana slot, really important slot for Quest Priest, where it didn't have a lot of stuff before. Teotar the Mad Duke going into that 4 mana slot. Quest Priest is getting so many upgrades. This looks like a very powerful deck to me. As for Rogue, I don't think there are any Rogue decks that I look forward to playing. I probably will not play Rogue myself on day one, but if I were to play Rogue, then APM Rogue, I guess, is kind of the thing. Just whew, guards fly everywhere, and then Necrolord Draga comes in, and then you have a 20 attack dagger, and then you kill people. Something like that can happen on like turn 5 or 6. Yeah, that was shown multiple times in the Theory Crafting live streams, and if you just leave this kind of archetype alone, it can be really deadly. For Shaman, Totem Shaman seems to suck, and then there's the Evolve Shaman, and I will not touch Evolve Shaman with a 10-foot pole, so I really don't want to play with that one, but I figured I would play some Control Shaman. Everyone else is putting like Castle Nathria into their Control Shaman decks, use Bran, Kael'thas, Sire, but I figured maybe you could be a little bit faster, go under them a bit, and do things with Alexstrasza. Perhaps, or maybe that's just nonsense and you really want that Sire. We're going to find out in just a day or two. As for Warlock, the talk of the town is Imp Warlock. Imp Warlock almost builds itself. Very aggressive deck, just put pretty much all the Imp stuff in the deck and that's it. So I'm not that interested in it. I mean, sure, it can be a powerful option and probably lots of people will like it, but I want to play with some curses, and I want to play with some curses with Lady Darkvein included, summoning those shades. The big question for me when building this deck was probably whether do I include the Shadow Waltz or not, because I don't like Shadow Waltz too much, but I guess I will give it a try at the start and see how it goes, whether it improves the consistency of Lady Darkvein or not, and then we'll see what happens. Also, getting access to Theotar the Mad Duke. Yeah, some good upgrades to Curse Warlock. Not that many, just a few, but still looking pretty good. And finally there's Warrior. Blizzard of course is pushing that Enrage Warrior, Pain Warrior. I really don't like the archetype. I tried it and it didn't feel very fun either. So I'm just going to keep playing Contra Warrior. Sadly, Contra Warrior didn't get much in the expansion. Burner of Pride, I'm warming up to Burner of Pride. I think it might be something. Then in this deck I have Decimator Olgra, but I don't think Decimator Olgra is necessarily going to be very powerful. Also, I'm currently not running Mutanus or Theotar, and I think you probably need one or the other, depending on how the meta is going to work out. So likely there's going to be some changes that will be needed, but overall, Contra Warrior, it's just what I like to do. So those are my 10 day 1 decks, very control oriented I suppose. And yeah, expansion is coming in a few hours. Let's see what's going to be like. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.